Have you ever heard of the pancake philosophy? When you're looking at flour, you don't see a pancake, you see flour. And that's how we tend to look at ourselves. We look at where we are right now and compare it to where we want to be. I don't have the business yet. I don't have the skills yet. I don't have the audience yet. I don't look like the person I want to become. But what if the current version of you isn't evidence that you're failing to become that person? What if it's the evidence that you're still in the recipe? Because the flour doesn't need to look like a pancake. It just needs to be a part of the intention. And that's where I think we get confused about becoming. We think becoming something means constantly trying to look like the finished product. But you can't look like the finished product while you're still being formed. And here's what's interesting about the pancake. You don't make a pancake with pancake. You make it with a bunch of different things that individually aren't a pancake. Flour, milk, eggs, oil, whatever you guys use to make pancakes, they're all separate and later become the pancake. And some of those ingredients might not even seem like they belong there, but that's the point. Your life works the same. The experience you've had, the things you've learned, the mistakes you've made, the people you've met, the things you're still figuring out, they're all ingredients. And just because an ingredient doesn't look like the final product doesn't mean it doesn't belong in the recipe. And sometimes the recipe doesn't go the way you planned. Sometimes life calls you away in the middle of creating. Your kids need you, the laundry needs to get done, something else needs your attention. You come back later to a burnt pancake that you're willing to eat, and now you've got to figure out where you left off. Sometimes you make a mistake. Sometimes you add too much. I added too much milk to these pancakes and I realized I didn't have any more flour to balance it out, so I had a choice. I could decide that I messed up and throw out the pancakes, or I could keep going past the batter point. And I kept going, and you know what? They still became pancakes. They weren't as fluffy as the pancakes I normally make. Some were flatter, some were almost crepe-like, some came out in smaller bite-sized pieces, but they were still pancakes. And actually, because they were smaller, I ended up with more pieces than I normally would have. The outcome wasn't exactly what I imagined, but it wasn't a failure. It was simply a different version of the same intention. And I think that's something we forget about ourselves. I think that if our life doesn't look exactly like what we imagine it to be, then somehow we've gotten off the path. But maybe the path isn't supposed to look exactly the way you imagined it. Maybe the ingredients change. Maybe the timing changes. Maybe you have to step away. Maybe you added too much milk. Maybe you don't have any more flour. And maybe you still keep going, because the goal was never to make the perfect looking pancake. The goal was to make the pancakes. And that's the difference between trying to look like something and actually becoming it. You don't have to look like the finished product. You just have to keep participating